Hi everyone, I'm Fedor and you are on X-Founders channel. X-Founders is a practice-oriented educational camp in which ambitious founders learn, share experience, and help each other implement Web3 projects. More information about X-Founders in the description. Our guest is David. Today, together with David, we will talk about Tron Ecosystem. Hey David, nice to meet you here. Thanks for coming.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Can you share a bit about your experience, about yourself?
Yeah, certainly. So I've been at Tron for 18 months now, and it's been very exciting. But prior to joining Tron, I actually started in blockchain in 2016. And my focus at the time really was leveraging blockchain to develop new use cases to enable enterprises to reach their strategic goals through the application of emerging technologies. And I did that for all the way up till joining Tron, so the 4 or 5 years. Um, so it was great. Yeah, but prior to that, my background really is in investment research and consulting.
Mhm. So sounds great. But when you came to Tron ecosystem, can you tell us a bit about direction or maybe current primary focus of Tron ecosystem?
Yeah, certainly. The Tron ecosystem continues to grow and expand. I think we've probably now have probably have over 157 million accounts worldwide. We've become the preferred blockchain for the countries of Dominica as well as St. Martin. And, you know, we're often referred to as the stablecoin superhighway. So our market share of USDT is approximately 60%. And I think our market share of total stable coins is probably nearly 30%, maybe more at this time. Um, so we're really continuing to expand. We're continuing to see great adoption throughout the world. Our TRC20 um, is one of the most accepted or most widely used protocols in the world outside of North America, but really the non-North America areas um, really are seem to be moving toward TRC20 versus ERC20.
Mhm. Yeah, and what about focus of Tron ecosystem? Maybe some specific segments or DeFi or GameFi or maybe like any other directions. Maybe you right now focusing on with working really close with the. I mean maybe some government structures or yeah. Can you please help us understand? Uh, yeah, maybe this kind of focus
Sure.
of the Tron. Yeah.
Yeah, while payments are certainly a focus of the Tron blockchain, but recently we just completed our fourth season of our hackathon, and what we do there is we enable emerging projects in multiple categories um, to compete for funding.
Mm-hmm.
So we have those really broken into generally about 5 or 6 categories. So everything from Web3, DeFi, GameFi, which is a area of focus for us, NFT, and this season we added a couple more categories. The first is called Builder, and the second is Eco-Friendly. So we just wrapped up that season. Season 5 launches on July 6th. And this is really a great way for early stage companies to gain exposure to uh, so many things. So you gain exposure to other companies, other peers in your space. You gain exposure to obviously the people at Tron, and importantly Tron DAO Ventures, and the judging pool, the people that make up the judges is such a broad and diverse group. Entrants are getting exposure to people from Web2 enterprises. They're getting exposure to a variety of investors that specifically look for early stage investments. So it really works out to be very beneficial for the projects.
Mm-hmm. It means that you have like you provide seasonally hackathons events, and this is like the only way to get some support in terms of like grant support from the Tron ecosystem. Yeah, or maybe it's like
Actually, it's not.
one of yeah
It's one of the ways. So
one of
really,
the.
there are three primary ways for early stage projects or projects of any type, really, to get support from Tron. The first is our grant program. We have developer grants. Those usually range from $20,000 to $30,000. The hackathon is probably the most popular way. Last in season 4, we had over 600 entrants. We in total in the 4 seasons, we've had over 3,200 entrants.
Mm-hmm.
In so that's probably the most popular way, and I think it's most popular because the funding sizes are a bit larger. There's a pretty large um, pool of money that can be shared. And it's not only the first place winners that receive some money, it goes down to 5th place in each category. So in this season, 30 companies receive funding from Tron for their project, and they can use that to move forward and continue to grow out their vision. And lastly, um, Tron DAO Ventures is a great way to get funding. Tron DAO Ventures is the investment arm of Tron, and they make much larger investments into companies than the amounts in the hackathon or in the grant program. And that's where we see a lot of companies um, get reviewed by them, but they are very selective. It's a very disciplined group that makes investments into really high quality projects.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Can you a bit help understand their? I mean, this is like one of the way to get support from the Tron is to take part in hackathons, apply for some kind of this kind of events. If you have a chance to win this kind of events, you have a chance to apply to your venture arm for to continue with fundraising process.
No. You don't
Is
need to. You don't need
uh-huh.
to win the hackathon to apply to the venture arm. Anyone can apply.
Okay, anyone. Okay, nice. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
and
and
no, go ahead.
yeah, and can you tell a bit about like what kind of, or I mean, the venture arm is focusing on really like early stage, maybe it's like late seed or Series A companies, or yeah, what
Uh,
their sweet spot for, yeah.
yeah, I would think it's more mid stage.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Relatively early stage and then into mid stage. Um, Perhaps not seed necessarily, but still relatively early stage and mid stage companies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So sounds great. Okay. Yeah, and can you also help to understand, is it any kind of, department or I don't know, some players in Tron ecosystem who actually create content for founders that will be useful for them? Yeah, maybe you have kind of this program or initiative already.
There's a lot of information on the technical side of Tron that's available online. But usually, with our white papers and other information that's online, we really haven't had too much or too many questions. And we do have a very strong developer support program here in the US as well as elsewhere to support any questions that come up. Developer support is something that's very important to us, and we've been building out that area over the last couple of years here in the U.S. The person that leads developer support, his name is Ejaz Merchant. He's very active in the developer space. We've just brought on a US-based developer to also help with projects and provide insight and advice to projects that are coming in and developing on Tron. So I think we have right now plenty of resources for anyone that is looking to build their project onto Tron.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting. There instead of money grant support, usually founders and early stage startups, they're looking for any kind of resources that can help to boost their marketing campaign and to make some partnerships here. Sometimes blockchains they offer, or maybe they have some kind of departments that help to make AMA sessions. Some like make a Twitter space or making collaboration and content together. Is there any kind of department, or is there any chance to get some kind of marketing support from the Tron? Because you already told me that you have like a really huge audience, 150 million accounts. It's amazing numbers, absolutely fantastic. And this is a great resource for founders to boost their early stage projects. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
We have an extensive marketing department, certainly in the US. And we do co-marketing at times. It's really on a case-by-case basis. But the projects that participate in the hackathon really get great marketing support, especially those that end up receiving money. We really get behind them, and it can really go to help them to go to market with getting more information to the public about the company, providing co-marketing opportunities. We get all the winners onto our podcast, which is called Around the Block, which is hosted by our community leaders, Hunter Rogers and Stephen Bischoff. Yeah, so there's really a pretty significant amount of marketing support that goes into the hackathon winners. So all the more reason to participate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and to get a marketing support on this kind of collaboration, it's possible. You have like more chances to use this if you have if you can become like a participant of the hackathon. If you just like a startup who want to make transition to your blockchain, it doesn't work. Yeah, it's the in this kind of opportunity, it's difficult.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I mean, if you just if you're a startup that already have their own product on different blockchains and they wanna make transition to your blockchain, is there any chance to get this kind of support without
sure,
grants?
Yeah, I think working with developer relations is a great way to do that. I think actually you bring up an interesting point, because what we're seeing much more so now in the market than you have in past years is many projects, or most projects that I come into contact with, are interested in being multi-chain, right? So anyone who's building on Ethereum wants to increase their exposure and also develop on Tron. Now, what makes that easier is we do have a great cross-chain solution in BitTorrent chain. So that connects to Ethereum as well as BNB chain. And just being connected via that, I think really makes a great deal of sense, because then the market really increases. The amount of people that a project can reach really grows significantly, particularly with Tron. If a project does want to be global, Tron is really the best way to do that. And using a cross-chain solution such as BitTorrent chain really makes that possible.
Yeah, so sounds great. How we can also help the founders. Well, can you explain, like the best option for startups in terms of to be in the contact with the team of Tron? I mean, the first option is of course to apply for hackathon. Is there any chance to write direct message in LinkedIn, for example, to make an outreach, or
Yeah, I get yeah, people are
because
always reaching
it's
out to me via LinkedIn.
yeah.
And and quite honestly, sometimes I can help them, sometimes I can't, but I always try. But yeah, our team is very responsive.
Hmm.
Like I was saying before, our developer relations group is very active. The ecosystem development team is very active. We have quite a few people on the team that can be uh, that a project can make contact with and receive more guidance.
Yeah, and how many people work in Tron ecosystem? How do you think? Maybe you know this
In the
amount.
US, total
Yeah.
in the US, we probably have approaching 30 people.
Hmm.
In the US, I think Tron worldwide probably has closer to 2,000 people. Um, so it's, we're a decent sized organization and we
Hmm.
continue to grow.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah, it's a huge amount of people actually. It's a really
yeah,
great,
well, yeah, for
great
a
company.
blockchain, that is a lot of
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
But we continue to expand. We continue to really make the network even better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the last question that I have is, can you share some advice for early stage startups? The condition is really changed. Like if we take a look on the like few years ago and right now, and the requirements is also really changing. And the condition is not stable. Everybody looking for waiting for bull market and things like that. I know
Mhm.
that this is, the last year shows that the founders, they need to pay a lot of attention in terms of creating sustainable business modeling things. And I know that there are a lot of, like many different things that founders have to know and understand. But maybe you can share some, your own vision, your own ideas, or some advice that can help founders to be uh, connected with the Tron, for example, or maybe they can have like more chances to survive in new condition. Yeah, please.
Sure. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think a couple of years ago, um, blockchains layer ones were handing out money left and right. And that, I think a big part of that changing was the result of, the bear market. And now, uh, those types of grants really aren't as prevalent as we had seen in the past. Um, but Tron was really never a blockchain that would kind of, for lack of a better term, pay for projects to join our network. We think that the benefits of being on our network really are kind of self-evident and become real when the people are able to join the network on their own. Um, so I think there's that aspect to it. Other than that, my advice would be, make contact with us. We are very open and very willing to help. And if we can help, we certainly will. But we love to hear about projects that are interested in developing and in the process of developing on our chain. So, if you have a project that's going on, feel free to reach out to anyone in the US. And, we have a great team in the US, and anyone that you reach out to, I'm sure will try to help.
Yeah, so sounds great. Thank you for advice. It's not sometimes it's not easy to be in contact with like personally with some of colleagues from the like different chains, and it's sometimes the teams is not so huge, and the projects is
Yeah,
really a lot of, and yeah, sometimes and the most, the biggest pain for early stage founders, it's opportunities to get any kind of valuable feedback. Feedback, it's always problem to receive, and it's great that you really open to talk and open for founders. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
we try to help founders as much as we possibly can.
Yeah. Thank you, David, for our call. Have a great day. I hope to see you soon.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be
someday.
great. Well, thank you for
Yeah.
having me. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. And hopefully we talk again soon.
Thank you. Bye bye.